All right, it's the Pisces full moon and the partial lunar eclipse. This is going to be an exciting week. I don't know if you've already felt the energy building up, but it definitely has in my world. And I'm going to walk us through in the next 5 minutes, hopefully, 4 or 5 key things to look for during this full moon portal. To highlight this, of course, we're going to talk about the partial lunar eclipse. Of course, we're going to talk about the opposition of the moon and the sun because that is what creates this full moon. And there is some unique aspects going on in the sky, particularly the full moon conjunct with Neptune retrograde, how that interacts with and influences this grand trine kite that is showing up in the sky, as well as a mutable T-square and the other rulership of the signs of Neptune and the sign of Virgo. So let me bring over here our chart that we're going to work through as we talk about this tonight, okay? So we'll leave this over to the left so we can see what we're working on. First off, this partial lunar eclipse, let me just say that this is the lunar eclipse before we have our solar eclipse on the new moon in 2-ish weeks. So this is the preparatory part. This is more of the emotional the emotional awareness that we get to really examine and look at our emotions around our Aries nature, our courage and our bravery to take action and move forward, especially if we have done the work in previous eclipses around letting go of old patterns, specifically the patterns around Libra tendencies of codependency or people pleasing or anything that keeps us in the less than effective energy of Libra, and learning to be more assertive, more courageous to step forward in the things that we are feeling impressed to do. Now, the reason why this lunar eclipse is actually sort of unique is that it is the nodes are in Aries, but the full moon is in Pisces. And that Pisces energy invites so much of this reflection, this spirituality, this leaning into our faith and our dreams. And the Aries energy of the nodes, of the North Node, is really saying it's time to take action and move forward. So it's this combination of actually utilizing our faith and doing then the things that our faith is pushing us in the direction of. So that is a really important thing to acknowledge or to understand when it comes to this lunar eclipse is where are your emotions in your ability to move forward. Now, the reason why we're talking about emotions is because a lunar eclipse impacts the lunar nodes, and that's what we keep track of. There are lots of different nodes associated with all different planets, but the nodes that we keep track of mostly in astrology are the lunar nodes, and so they have so much more influence on our emotional state and why we need to actually pay attention to the emotions that are coming up for us at these poignant moments and learn from them, be aware of them, and choose how to integrate them and work with them in a healthier way. So you might be all the feels, all kinds of sensitivities going on as we go into this Pisces full moon and lunar eclipse, but be patient with them. Be curious about them. Be open to what they are teaching and presenting you. Don't judge them as any time the judgment of our emotions doesn't really serve us. It's just being curious about what those are about and where they come from and how we can integrate them and learn from them and do better because of them. So the Pisces Virgo axis that is playing out during this full moon is also very important because the moon represents the emotions or the past or the subconscious, and the sun, its opposing energy here, represents our conscious self and what our purpose is and trying to integrate the emotion and our conscious nature. And because of that, this tension that is created with the full moon, the sun and the moon in opposing signs is saying, hey, let's look at this part of us and let's bring it together, or let's expand our view of how we see our emotional side, our dreamy side, with our very practical down-to-earth side in that Virgo placement. And they find a way to have them work together. What skills or learning or practical application needs to be enhanced in support of these dreams? That could be one way to look at it. This energy that we have also in Pisces right now is sort of unique with Neptune at 28 degrees in retrograde. And let me just say that Neptune in retrograde is a more potent energy of Neptune than we normally have when Neptune is direct. And so with that more potent energy, it is an opportunity to tap into greater understanding or faith or enlightenment or spiritual gifts and opportunities to receive those downloads or those inspirations from the divine and from heaven, to be able to know what are you needing to release and let go of, what are you needing to take steps, what do you need to have faith in and move forward in, how do you need to examine your beliefs that underline your faith so that you can move forward. The energy, Neptune is a planet that moves very slowly, and most of us will not experience it. Well, I'll say this, none of us will experience it in Neptune again in our entire lives. So the opportunity for us to really have the ruler of the sign, both in retrograde and in forward motion, is such a beautiful opportunity for us to really lean into and understand our spiritual gifts, understand what our divine, I guess, paths might look like and who we are becoming in this process. Sometimes we get too caught up in the nitty-gritty of what does the path look like, instead of remembering that part of this whole transformation that is happening with Pisces energy is really a releasing of things that don't serve us, a becoming more aware of our influence on the greater of humanity and the whole by doing our own internal healing. And so when you choose to live in alignment with those promptings and that faith and that inspiration that you've received, whether it's through dreams or in other methods, meditation or other insights, those help you on your path so that you can be in your journey and hopefully bring that goodness out into the world, and that will lift and rise the tide and lift all boats, right? So you actually doing your own healing work here does make a difference, and it does bless the world as you get in tune with those messages that what is the divine path for you to be taking. And then because of that Aries energy, as Neptune will be moving into Aries in the next couple of years, is a reminder of actually doing those things, right? A reminder, Aries energy is like, just have the courage, go out and do the thing. So that's really important to acknowledge during this Pisces full moon, is that you might be more receptive to these messages, these subconscious clearing opportunities, and be able to move then forward with greater clarity. So we have the faith that is Pisces, and then the action that is Aries, and those are working together for you to grow and develop and move into new energy. That grand trine kite, I did want to point out, is you can see this minor grand trine and then this Earth grand trine that is happening between Pluto and the Sun and Uranus. Pluto and Uranus are in retrograde, and that again is a retrograde, intensifies the energy of this planet. They're all in Earth signs, so it has a very material influence on us. And it is presenting so many opportunities because of the trine aspect. So if you choose, again, like if your beliefs, let's talk about Pisces again, if your beliefs are based off of old limitations, you won't be able to really work with this grand trine energy in earth element signs if your beliefs are sort of in the lack and the not enough and the like, not in the space that keeps you held to the past and held to what your old realities are. Okay. And if you choose to step into a new reality, you will see opportunities show up for you in that space. So it really is a time to examine the way you think and the way that you are choosing to create your future and to move into the future. This grand Earth trine also creates this minor grand trine with the apex being Neptune in retrograde. So everything we talked about with Neptune in retrograde is so important to take full advantage of this kite. And you can see the kite, the triangle, and then the tip of the triangle, and this opposition. All of that is playing out so that you can really move into a new reality. It is time, like, I guess so many of us get caught up in in dreams, but never in action. And there is a time for dreaming, and then there is a time for doing. And the energy is saying, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to the limiting beliefs that are holding you back, and be prepared to start taking action, because the energy is shifting for your good in that direction. Another thing that's playing out with this opposition of the sun and the moon is called a mutable T-square. And this mutable T-square is the tension between the sun and the moon, but the apex of it is here with Jupiter and Gemini. So the things that you are learning, the ways that you connect with people, the new skills you learn, the way that you gather information can actually relieve and help the integration of this opposition of the sun and the moon in these two signs of Pisces and of Virgo. So if you're super dreamy and not enough grounded, or super grounded and not enough dreamy, learning new skills can help balance that out for you and help you move forward as well. The rulership of these of Virgo and Pisces is also very important. Now, Jupiter happens to be a co-ruler of Pisces, and so this is very important to this Piscean energy. Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, and it's hanging out here in Virgo as well to help, again, not just gather the information, but analyze it and utilize it, discern what is the most important. To be able to discern is part of that Mercury in Virgo energy, to judge and decide amongst all the options that are on the table, what is the most important for me to be able to move forward. That would be that Mercury support there for you. And so as you go through the full moon, it is not so much a time to get super analytical about how to move forward. It is a time to be aware of what you would not normally see regarding your own spiritual growth and spiritual development. Now, 6 months ago, we had the Piscean new moon. And the Piscean new moon was the conjunction of the sun and the moon in Pisces that created a new cycle of growth for our self-conscious, our conscious self, and our subconscious self. And we are 6 months into that growth cycle. So as you review the last 6 months, what have you learned about your spiritual gifts, about your faith, about your beliefs, about the way you think, about your mind? And what have your dreams been telling you? If you haven't yet established a healthy sleep routine, that could be so effective in helping you have and receive the messages that you need to receive to be able to have the directions to move forward. So that's another thing to consider. So with that said, I think that's all I'm going to touch on there. I do want to highlight that the oil that I would recommend for utilizing during this full moon is called green mandarin. Now, it's the oil of pure potential. So if you are feeling trapped by any limiting beliefs where you've been able to identify them, and that's what the full moon can help you see. The full moon helps you see what is normally sort of obscured by the darkness, and be able to actually see it for what it is. And in that scene, sometimes it's uncomfortable, but sometimes it's exactly what you need to be able to make a better choice moving forward. The other wonderful thing is that green mandarin helps you sort of step into that optimism of there's more here for me. There's more opportunities for me. It is supportive in releasing our doubts, our fears, and any of past failures that are keeping us stuck in the past and not ready to leap forward in faith of the, creation of the dreams or the vision of our future, and to really reconnect with the faith that we had as a child. We all are blessed with this innate faith as a child. We are fearless. And at some point, that fearlessness sort of disappears from us. And it is time to reconnect with that part of our nature and really lean into, what are your dreams? And do you have the belief system to support you in moving into that space of those dreams? So I would encourage you, as you go through this full moon, to look at all of that and allow for that to be part of the awareness, because astrology is all about awareness. And when you have the awareness, then you can choose differently. It's not about judging so much how life is showing up for you. It is about seeing it for what it is and using discernment in how you are going to then use your power to choose to change your life, because that power is within you to change how you think of and respond to all of life circumstances. And that is what this oil can support your body in doing. In fact, it Pisces energy really influences the lymphatic system of the body. So if you've ever done lymphatic drainage or any kind of need a gentle lymphatic cleanse, green mandarin and all citrus oils help support the body in that gentle cleansing process. So put a couple of drops with some coconut or jojoba oil, rub it on your skin, and then brush it, like not dry brush it, but brush it into your skin in those directions to help sort of release or move that lymphatic toxic or sluggish lymphatic system so that you can wake up again. There are some people that I love on Instagram that are great lymphatic teachers. Doc Talks Detox. You can find her, Caitlin, Dr. Caitlin. She talks a lot about how to properly lymphatic drain, and I would encourage you to follow her. There's no way I could teach everything that she teaches. She's just a wealth of information, so check her out. And if you are wanting to learn how to use essential oils for all the signs, because we all have all the signs, and you might have, a Taurus moon and a Cancer Mercury or whatever it is, this cheat sheet will help you start exploring how to use essential oils for these different physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual layers of your body. I would encourage you to grab your free cheat sheet. I will put the link in the description below, but I hope that you have a wonderful Pisces full moon. I am excited for this opportunity to really explore our spirituality, lean into our faith, receive visions and dreams that help us know how to move forward in our individual lives and make an impact on humanity because of it. So good luck, and I'll talk to you guys later.